Appreciate you clicking on this episode of Sci Flick. I got some movie news to tell you, so let's get into it. A couple of things that we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we got it confirmed. Jason Momoa has joined the DCU, but not as Aquaman. We got a possible confirmation that Daredevil is actually going to be showing up in Avengers Doomsday. What does that mean for the movie? And over the weekend, we finally got the trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that's coming to Disney Plus. Gotta give you my thoughts on that. We'll be diving into that and only that in this episode of Side Flick, because I didn't have many other movie topics. Some of you might have been watching me recently know I was having some mic issues, and I spent the whole weekend troubleshooting, figured things out. I settled with this. Hopefully the audio is sounding good for you. I think I got it all sorted out now, but it did delay me on the popcorn bucket video and my best and worst lists that are currently being edited right now as we speak. So give me some patience there, but yeah, just thought I'd let you know. So let's just get on to the first topic. And we're kicking things off, we do have the trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I have been waiting for this trailer to be released online because it's so wild that this show was announced like 4 or 5 years ago, was only 1 month away, and then we barely got a trailer now. Like, it didn't really scream like Disney had confidence in this thing, and all the different production behind the scene things that went on, where this was originally an origin story show for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, showing us his early days. Then somewhere in the mix it got turned into, no, it's in a separate universe and we're giving it a title change, no longer freshman year, now it's just Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. All in all, it's just finally nice to get an idea of the feel, the tone, the style of the show, and well, in true Spider-Man fashion, I am not satisfied. There are some good things I want to mention, but starting off with the things that are bugging me, look, I just can't get behind this animation style. I'm very happy if you like the look of this show. It's just giving such a cheap vibe to me. And you know, I had that feeling in some of the early screenshots for X-Men 97, but once we got more footage of that show, and especially when watching it, it doesn't feel cheap. The fight scenes were very engaging, had some really nice visuals attached to them, and to me, I'm just not getting that here in terms of the animation style. I do like the camera movements. Instead of the animation itself looking a lot more detailed, it looks like the camera is going to be moving a lot throughout the show, and I do like that. Also, now with finally getting a feel for the show, not really loving this version of Peter Parker. Feels like they're trying too hard to go the dorky route. With this being a modern day, you know, Spider-Man show, what is a nerd? What is a dork? And those are two different things. You can be a nerd who's really smart and be socially awkward, or you can be a dork and then say things like this.
I remembered I left something in the bathroom. Deuces. Parker out.
Feels like this Spider-Man is more of a dork, and they're trying too hard a little bit on the quippy side. And so those are kind of like really the big things right now that's just kind of making me not that excited for the show. But on the opposite side, some things that I am enjoying firsthand looking at this is we are going back to that street level Spider-Man. I've been screaming that with Spider-Man 4 and Tom Holland's movie, where I just kind of want to see some street level classic Spidey adventures. And for a good chunk of this trailer, it seems like we are getting that. We're getting some street level villains. Peter having to deal with those issues of like, oh, I got to take a test, I got to do this, oh, but there's trouble outside, I got to go find a way to help them. I'm also super interested in this Norman Osborn angle. Although we know this show isn't set within the main MCU timeline, it's cool to see that other heroes do exist within this world, because we get a picture of Captain America and Norman Osborn together. While early photos look like this show was gonna just mimic the MCU Tom Holland storyline in its own way, but with Norman Osborn instead of Tony Stark, I feel like this show is not going to be that direct of a parallel. So like I said, I am interested to see this partnership and that go south and then the Green Goblin go after this version of Spider-Man. But I don't know, right now I am just feeling underwhelmed. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. It's freaking Spider-Man, but I'd be lying to you if I said watching this trailer I didn't half watch it going, What about you guys? I know there's some people that are just insanely excited for this. I'd love to know what you liked and disliked about this trailer. Moving on from there, we had an interesting development with Daredevil looking to be part of Avengers Doomsday. So we actually got this rumor about a few days ago from Daniel RPK. And lately, I just try and pick and choose the rumors I think are legit or not. Not to say that Daniel RPK is a bad source, but they are definitely one of those sources that puts a lot of information out there. I'd have a video a day if I was always always covering it. So this was just one of those things I offhand mentioned in the last live stream I did on the channel, that Daredevil might be popping up in Avengers Doomsday, but now we got something to back it up even more and make it concrete. We have here a gym in Australia where Charlie Cox is currently training, getting fit, and they captioned it saying, "It's been awesome having Charlie and his wife, Sam Cox, indifferent over the past weeks. Charlie is currently training for his role in the upcoming Marvel Avengers movie where he will play Daredevil. It's been our absolute pleasure working with you both, and we can't wait to watch you on the big screen. See you soon." And that basically backs up what Daniel RPK was saying, that Daredevil is showing up in Avengers Doomsday. I got a lot of thoughts. So it looks like Marvel is setting up Daredevil to be more of a main player into the MCU than he previously had been. You could technically say he was always part of the MCU with the Netflix shows, but since Kevin Feige didn't have direct control over that, it was always a weird situation. Then he made his first big debut in Spider-Man No Way Home, which, yeah, us people who love Daredevil and Spider-Man, we went crazy over that. But I also remember seeing some reactions of people who would go watch No Way Home. They would cheer for Daredevil, and nobody in the audience would know why you were cheering, and it was a little awkward. So with now Disney deciding all of the Netflix shows are canon, and they're finally going to make their season 4 with Daredevil Born Again. That's coming out soon. Very excited for that. It looks like they just also want to put Daredevil in this sort of mainstream look to either help out with their Disney Plus show or maybe set him up for a Spider-Man appearance. That's right, we going conspiracy theory time. Because looking at it from afar, Avengers Doomsday to me is still a mystery of a movie. Like, we know Robert Downey Jr. is going to be debuting as Dr. Doom in that movie. And with it being an Avenger film, we expect to see a lot of superheroes in there. But, I mean, right now it's also place your bets. Is it Sam Wilson? Is it Captain Marvel? I'm pretty sure Tom Holland will be in that movie. But really, with there being like 100 different characters in the MCU, it's hard to pick what will be like the main 20 or 10 people part of that movie. And I gotta admit, Daredevil, I don't think would have been in my top 10 or even top 15 of characters that would have possibly have shown up in the movie. Mainly because Daredevil still feels so much like an outsider to the main MCU, and he's such a street level character as well. I'm just like, what does that mean for a multiverse movie where Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom? Is he gonna sue Dr. Doom? Is the movie a court drama? Even when Daniel RPK brought this up, he said it would be a small role, so it could be a role as big as it was in No Way Home. And again, I think it's just Kevin Feige doing something smart of like, okay, Charlie Cox was just in No Way Home. That was almost a $2 billion movie, and he wasn't even in the Daredevil costume. He was just a lawyer. Now in the Doomsday movie, they gotta make sure he puts on the Daredevil outfit, and that way we can get eyeballs and people excited to go watch Born Again on Disney Plus. So I don't know, really, your guess is as good as mine about how Daredevil plays into Doomsday, but he was not on my bingo card to show up in there. And also, I feel bad for these people at the gym because Feige Sniper just knocked on their door and they're not making it to the new year. Let me know what you guys think about Daredevil looking to be part of Avengers Doomsday. And well, another big old piece of news that got revealed I definitely wanted to talk about is Jason Momoa playing Lobo in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now, this actually got me excited for a multitude of reasons. For one, it's kind of wild because now we know Jason Momoa is in the DCU, but he's not playing Aquaman. If you guys remember, back when James Gunn took over, he then decided to have a meeting with anyone who was still in the DCU and talk about where their future could lie in the future of his DCU. And when Jason Momoa had his meeting, he walked out happy and so excited. Let me just play you a snippet of that video.
Worst thing in the world. All right, this needs to be documented. What's the date today? 6th. The 6th of November. The greatest news, some of the greatest news in my life just happened. I can't say anything about it. Yes! Oh! I can't wait to share with you, but they won't let me share anything. I want you to remember this date, November 6th. Mwah! You know who you are. Mwah!
The man was bouncing off the walls, and I don't think you bounce off the walls like that if you just got told you're staying as Aquaman and we're giving you a third movie. Like, that's not really bounce off the wall time. No, it's because he found out then, and it's confirmed now, that he will be playing Lobo in James Gunn's DCU, a dream role that Jason Momoa has been wanting to play for a very long time. It's also a pretty popular character amongst comic book fans that they've been wanting to see on the big screen. He's a bounty hunter in space with this motorcycle, has a really big and at times funny personality, and Jason Momoa was always like the #1 pick to play him because just put a photo side by side, that is Lobo. And even an extra little cherry on top, Lobo being part of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Tom King, the original comic book writer who wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow that the movie is based on, he has said previously in interviews he wanted Lobo to be part of that comic book story, but an editor stopped that from happening and it didn't go through. And now in the movie adaptation, Tom King gets his wish of making Lobo part of that story. Some fans even took it a step further. Now that Lobo will be part of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Lobo in the comics sometimes does have a dog, and we know Crypto plays a part in the Supergirl story. It'd be so funny now if we got Lobo's dog and Crypto fighting each other on the big screen. So that honestly just raises my excitement even more for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, but the thing I'm now most happiest, Jason Momoa is no longer Aquaman. Yeah, baby! There is an argument to be made. Jason Momoa turned the character of Aquaman into a cool character. Before Aquaman was one of the only DCEU movies to make $1 billion, he was the laughing stock of the DC universe. He was the constant butt end of a joke, and anytime anyone thought of Aquaman, they just laughed at him. And while I like to thank more James Wan than anybody else that helped turn Aquaman into a somewhat serious, enjoyable character, I know he saved the Jason Momoa interpretation for me because I was never a fan of him in the Zack Snyder movies. I am so happy now. This will be one of the characters that'll get recast and kind of redone for James Gunn's DCU. And the ultimate proof is going to be when we watch him as Lobo and his personality is exactly the same as it was when he was Aquaman. That's gonna be the only argument I need when showing off to people, he was actually a good Aquaman, Chris, you're being crazy. I'm gonna show you one scene of Aquaman, I'm gonna show you one scene of Lobo, and you're not gonna tell the difference. Because Jason Momoa ends up always kind of playing himself, the big, loud, excited, my man guy, which is perfect for Lobo. I didn't think it was perfect for Aquaman. I always joked around, I would have rather have seen Patrick Wilson, who plays Orm in those movies, be Aquaman. If you take away some of the evil traits of that character, his demeanor, his love for Atlantis, and his physical form, like that was just Aquaman. So part of me is happy we are gonna get a new Aquaman somewhere down the line, and Jason Momoa gets to play a character he's always wanted to. We're all happy. And I feel like this also is now definitively any DCEU characters are not returning as main players in James Gunn's DCU. It's been a long couple of years of us wondering who's staying, who's leaving, because James Gunn's new universe is so mix-mashy of people carrying over and people getting replaced. Seems like as time goes on, James Gunn is just more likely doing the replacement of everybody, as long as they weren't characters he created. I'm good with this. I want to throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about Jason Momoa now being part of the DCU, not being Aquaman? And well, now who would you want to play Aquaman in the DCU? And well, that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I gotta get back to editing the popcorn bucket and best and worst of 2024. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.